Right, here we go. 5 rounds to go in this My Team career mode. It's crunch time. The championships are up for grabs, particularly the drivers, the constructors, less so. Now, for this one, guys, before we jump into the weekend's action, the previous race at the Circuit of the Americas, it was actually a big one. Sprint weekend, so extra points up for grabs. Championship ramifications, lots of DNFs. Go check it out, link in the top right as we delve into today's episode. Now, we begin with upgrades. You can see we have 2 on the way, and hopefully we can add some more in just a bit. We're going to delve into activities. We're going to sharpen up Ollie Bearman for this one by doing a second driver performance review for the weekend, and that's going to bring us into those upgrades. Now, the Venturi tunnels for the aerodynamics are on the car this weekend. We have 2 more, of course, as you saw on the way, and we have potentially a further one to add as we go for the reshaped combustion chamber. So 4 upgrades in a very short period of time, and that will hopefully give us a bit of a boost in the performance chart because we are dropping back. And also this is partly to help Bearman because he's been struggling the last few rounds, and hopefully an improved car gives the AI a better chance at competing. Now, to add to that, we of course last episode purchased Simulator Spec 3 for Ollie Bearman, and we'll hopefully receive that soon. I think either after this race or the one after that. But the idea is to basically try and improve him with the upgraded car to hopefully get some points or even a point in the last few rounds. Now, for this weekend we have rain for the race at the very end, at the death, which could be a bit of a late twist in the tail. Now, for this weekend, you can see we do take a step forward. We overtake Red Bull with our upgrade, and yeah, we're still in the second half or the bottom half of the table, but nonetheless, it's an improvement. Aston Martin still lead the way, but I'm hoping with that remaining upgrade package left, we can hopefully take a big step forward. Now, you can see last time out P2 at Kota, but it doesn't tell the full story because we, of course, DNF'd in the sprint. Now, for this weekend, we carry a essentially 2 race win, 50 points plus over Lewis Hamilton, who's our main rival, but Leclerc and Russell and Alonso are also title rivals as well. For this weekend, we have failures enabled. We've re-enabled them after turning them off for this main race around Kota. Again, we're kind of following on that pattern where it seems to fix the issue where you get recurring car faults. So basically, when you have a car failure and you change the component, all you have to do is switch off mechanical failures for the next round and then turn them back on. And that usually fixes the issue, which was the case for me earlier on this season. For now, though, we jump into practice and our race runs come to a close, which were actually quite positive.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Now, with that out of the way, you can see here is the data from those runs. Now, the tyre wear, very, very good, excellent tyre wear in fact, but the fuel consumption was actually quite high. That will get factored into our race strat and our race fuel, which is going to be simulated in the race strategy. So hopefully we'll get the fuel right for the main event. Either way, we finished this practice session in 19th place, Ollie Bearman in 17th, 2 tenths between us, but Ollie on softs, we was on mediums, and that's not a great sign for Ollie being that far down. Again, kind of highlighting his lack of pace recently, which has been a bit of an issue. Now, we finished the session with a decent chunk of R&D points. Ollie brings his own share to the table. We also, of course, pick up our usual discounts. But yeah, the main thing I want to do here is improve Ollie's chances of, getting in the mix and disrupting some of our rivals in these races to try and improve our championship chances, which is all I want now. So hopefully with the personal upgrades and also the upgrades for the car, we can really move forward, hopefully, in these final 5 rounds. Anyway, practice done. It's now time for qualifying.
This is a special place to go motor racing. We have the Peripherals. The track is warming up nicely, and it is nearly time to set the grid for tomorrow's Grand Prix. What an atmosphere we have in Mexico City.
Rightio, let's get to it then. Soft tyres on for qualifying. Now, we have a car behind to start the lap, and I actually got my positioning timing a little bit wrong just because I got caught out right at the end. There's actually, I think, Ocon in the Renault who caught me up at the stadium section. It was too late to kind of give myself a gap without losing tyre temp. I also forgot to put hot lap mode on, which is why he just walks past down this straight. So yeah, I waited a bit to see what he was doing, and indeed he is going for a lap himself. So we're basically out of sync, same part of the racetrack, and he's going to be in the way. So we're going to basically back out of it now as we cross the first sector split and we've got fuel. We'll go again and try to improve and hopefully get some clear track and get the lap under our belt. So here we go, out the last corner, into hot lap mode this time, and you're going to see right away the delta is going to shoot up. Even though last lap we had a slipstream and this lap we don't, you're going to see the difference here as Stroll goes quickest, 111.7.
Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
We're already multiple tenths up into turn 1. Through turn 2, turn 3, we get the line set up to get the exit. We also use a bit more battery here as well, and we're going to be north of 4 tenths up heading into the first sector, nearly half a second up as we now head through turn 4, which feeds into turn 5. Important to keep some minimum speed, so keep the throttle on a little bit through these slow corners to keep the speed up. Hairpin, nicely done, get a good exit, and now we're going to throw it into the S section to close out sector 2. Important to use every curb, every inch of the track to minimize track distance, minimize meters, and make a shorter lap time as we now open DRS. Into sector 3 then, we're going to try and hopefully bring the car to the left, throw it over the bump into the stadium section, then down to 3rd, open up this left-hand hairpin. Bit of luck up on the way in as we bump over the curbs, and our last corner in 4th. Important to get your exit, so open up the wheel a little bit and then kind of close it back up to shorten the line to the last corner up to the line, and it's going to be a 112.1, so 4 tenths off Stroll's time, give or take, as we head back to the garage. And you can see there, 4.5 tenths away, P9 for the time being. Our first sector is a long way down. It's a 20, I believe 7.4, if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty slow. That's partly down to battery. I actually had about, a good 25-35% left over at the line. So we're going to basically burn that remain at the start of the lap to improve our first sector and our main straight top speed. So yeah, work to be done. Lap improvements have to be, achieved, and we're going to try and hopefully do that now. Clear track, using battery from the get-go as we go for a full send at Mexico. Job done then. Pole position, P1 in qualifying. Great lap, really good lap. We haven't had a good lap in quite a long time, to be fair, but that was actually on the money. And we just edged out Oscar Piastri by 14 milliseconds. So very close session. Top 7 covered by 1.5 tenths with the big surprise. Zhou Guanyu in the Audi, the worst car on the grid in P4. What a performance. What a shift from him. He must have potentially got a slipstream. He puts 8 tenths into Bottas. But crucially, Sir Lewis Hamilton, P3, Charles Leclerc, P16. So yeah, our rivals a little bit out of place. George Russell, P7, Alonso, P8. So really, all we're looking out for here is Lewis into the run to turn 1. Behrman out of position, quite far away. Again, confirming he doesn't really have the pace. But either way, qualifying done. Good session for us, good improvements. And we're now going to jump into the main event and hopefully convert the pole into a win.
Welcome to the most populous city in North America. The legendary Jim Clark won the first official F1 race here in 1963. It's Mexico City, and it's Grand Prix Sunday. We're 2,285 meters above sea level. That is one of the key details of this circuit. It tests the driver's fitness and their engine's efficiency. The other one is the atmosphere. An incredible crowd, a raucous crowd, and there's 30,000 of them waiting for the drivers at the end of this 2.6-mile lap in the Foro Sol. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Martinez lines up on pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Joe, Stroll, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Tsunoda, Ocon, Gasly, Norris, Verstappen, Albon, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Behrman, Sargent, Teo Porcher, Bottas, and Dennis Hauger. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And so we welcome you to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me for this race, and it's going to be some race, is Anthony Davidson. Things seem comfortable. They seem stable right now. That's a positive. But do they need to be pushed to the next level?
Well, that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual. It's all about you, and, you know, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
So here we go, time for the race. So far, so good this weekend. The car feels quick. We had a really good qualifying, great final lap, put it all together. But now we're going to find out if we're going to have a buggy car or not. Because as we saw early this season, when we had reliability issues, we were able to basically fix the issue by disabling those for a race and then re-enabling it on the next one. I've done the same thing today, so we have re-enabled the failures after having a successful race last time out. And now we're going to see exactly how that affects things in this one. For this one, we have rain at the very end. Approximate forecast, so we never know when the rain might exactly arrive, but for the time being, we're going to stick to what we know. Starting on mediums, moving on to the hards. Very simple, straightforward, one stop. No risk involved. You know, we're leading the championship. We're on pole, so we don't have to do anything stupid. For fuel, 0.8 of a lap extra on fuel, making sure we're nice and safe. So let's get into it and let's see how we get on. And this should be a fun one. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the rain doesn't disrupt things too much. Anyway, hopefully, let's go over the line. Now, as you know, the Mercedes are our main rivals, especially Lewis Hamilton, who's P3. So we're going to keep a keen eye out for the silver arrows in this one and see exactly what sort of start they get. It does seem like everybody is opting for mediums on this one, so no surprises in terms of tyre strap. One last burn now as we line her up. Nice straight start here. Important to try and get a good run. It's a long run down to the first corner, so we have to get a good one. Right, let's get to it. Lights on at Mexico, and away we go. Not bad for me. It didn't get much wheel spin there at all. Bogged down a little bit, but you can see Joe with a flying start in the Audi. We're going to try and pull alongside here. 3 wide. Piastri defends into turn 1. Hamilton all the way around the outside. 3 wide. I've got to be careful, but we're going to just about hang on to that one. But Hamilton with a super aggressive send around the outside of turn 1. And straight away, we both jump into 1-2. Russell up to P5, Joe, the fast start in the Audi to P3, and Piastri, who actually got the launch off the line, ended up being the big loser out of all of that, which is insane. That's why Mexico race starts are so interesting. The dynamic is so different to other tracks because of the massive straight, and then the 1, 2, 3, followed by another big straight. For now, though, I don't trust Joe to keep with us, so I want to try and stretch the pack out a little bit. Worst case scenario, we drag Hamilton with us, but we drop Russell and we drop one of the Mercs, which isn't the worst thing in the world. So we're just going to try and spread the field out a bit. I'm not too confident that Joe's pace is legit. I think that was just a freak qualifying lap, an insane performance.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Right, straight line speed looks really good. We're actually keeping Hamilton behind and we're actually now pulling away. So that's a really good sign in terms of being competitive and being able to attack and defend on the straight. So we can bear that in mind and try and work. Hamilton will have DRS for the first time on the back straight out of the S section. So that's when we'll have to now watch out for him in these straights with DRS available to him. Hamilton slightly quicker on that lap, but you would sort of expect that. Ocon quickest overall. Hamilton's closing here with DRS, but he's still struggling to really get super close. He has a look down the inside into the brake zone. We're going to just defend the line, make our car as wide as possible, leaving space, of course, at all times. Hamilton right there on the exit. Again, we're going to have to defend down towards turn 4 here. Again, clean racing, respectful racing for the time being. Ocon quickest again, although other quicker times flooding in behind. I've used all my battery.
Okay, expect to see some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now.
Okay, that's very interesting. That's way earlier than forecast. I was saying I'm using all my battery here to try and defend and stay ahead of Hamilton. I feel like I've got a bit of pace and I'm going to try and burn and push a little bit to see if I can stretch the field. Good lap. Setting the pace. Hamilton coming along for the ride, it seems. And Zhou is about to be dropped here. This could be the lap where the elastic snaps and we do drop Zhou, which I think we have. Hamilton, though, sticking right with me all the way through this. And actually, he's going to go for it here, so that's fine. I've used a lot of batteries, so I don't mind trying to get a bit of a charge. You can see Hamilton, though, is a bit low on battery himself. But Zhou will get overtaken by Piastri here. Russell will likely get him on the next straight. So Piastri might just join back up here, to be fair. Oh my god. That could be the championship right there. We are not going to get DRS, which is an issue, but Piastri might...
Green flag, we're racing again, let's go.
Yep, he just got held up enough there. I think Piastri's got DRS, but the gap's quite large. But that is the championship. Hamilton's out of the race. Now, I'll say that. I could DNF still in this one, but if I don't, that is going to be a huge points haul. Zhou also lost out massively, I think, with that Hamilton retirement because the gap has now ballooned. Russell up to 3rd and Alonso 4th, so they're now the biggest threats. But they must start battling amongst themselves as they are right now. So this race has really gone in our favour. Hamilton now, that's a huge DNF for the championship. Just got to try and keep Piastri really out of range if possible and keep an eye on the sky. Piastri got in.
Caution, caution.
Just a bit too quick. I feel like I'm struggling on tyres a little bit. All good though, we'll work with him. Piastri is very quick. I mean, literally there, he's so fast on a straight, much faster than Hamilton. So that's something we'll have to look out for and manage. Either we'll let him take the reins for the time being, but he seems to be really keen on pushing the pace. He was very quick in qualifying, so let's see.
We're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
Wow, it's here already. It's already raining. That was very quick. That has completely changed the outlook of this one. So based off everything so far, I'm going to guess this is going to be a very quick transition. I'm going to get the inters ready, just in case. Grip feels okay for now, so we'll go for one more. And potentially, I might try and pass Oscar here because this might be the lap. Let's see. Russell, Alonso working together. They are not going away. They're going to stick with us. So the big gaps behind being caused by Zhou now dropping through the field. I wonder if maybe he got damage or something because he's really dropped off. I'm going to try and see if I can get Oscar here. Grip still feels good though. There we go. Closing. Down the inside. Good clean move. Not locking any tyres. Let's see if we can box this lap. I don't think we can. I think it's still quite dry. No, we're going to keep going. Piastri's going to go straight back through. He's quicker than me right now. And he's quicker when he's leading. You can see how much Russell Alonso have caught on this lap by, me being in front. Although I'll say that Piastri isn't exactly committing to going through here, but we'll make it a bit easier for him. First lap, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit. Still think it's dries, but AI are doing a better job than me at navigating the conditions. Piastri, they're a bit of a slide through the last corner. Russell is absolutely flying, by the way. He's so rapid. I think this could be the lap, though, for the first time. This is a potential contender. That was 2 seconds off the pace on that lap. Let's see. We're going to close it on Piastri here. We're going to go for this. Down the inside. Broke way too early there. I'm going to try and set up the exit instead. The thing is, the AI do use their battery down this straight. Piastri defends this time. Around the outside we go. Good late braking move, but this might just bring Russell and Alonso into it. Not there yet. Still not there. Piastri will go through. That was a similar lap for the last one. It's a very slow transition. So
be careful on those slicks. These conditions are making the line a bit greasy, but we're still nowhere near the changeover point.
Yep. Piastri doesn't quite go through convincingly, so we're going to hang on. Russell's right there, Alonso's right there. But this is a slow transition here, so this could get interesting. Carbon copy of the last lap. We're just going to get our car in front of Piastri and stay ahead for the time being.
Okay, track conditions aren't improving. It's your choice as to whether you want to fit full wets next time you come in.
Yep, we'll see. Here goes Piastri. I've saved battery, so we're actually going to hold our own and just leave him on the high line on the outside. He tries to go around the outside, but we're just going to make our car nice and wide. Good defensive driving here. This is exactly what we need to do. Same as the last lap. Here comes Piastri. He'll get alongside and then we'll just basically dump some battery to make sure we keep him there. Russell isn't a threat at this point in time. Piastri there. We're going to extend and get ahead. Whoa, okay. Whew. That wasn't too good. Okay, why suddenly now are we losing the rears? My rears are hot, that's why. So it's not actually the track conditions. I'm going to move my bias up to try and mitigate the damage.
Okay, we're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
It could actually be this lap, to be fair. Again, we're going to keep running the sequel. Same pattern over and over again. AI are starting to pit though, but I wonder if that's just a scheduled stop for another set of dries. We have to respond there as Piastri switches lines. And he's managed to get alongside, but we're going to just hang on. Crucial. Alonso actually boxed, which is interesting. So we'll have to see what tyre the AI go for. If they go for another dry tyre, it's going to be game over for all of them. So this could be a critical phase. I'm going to stay out. This is our scheduled pit stop lap, but I just don't think it's worth it. Dries are quicker. Russell stays out with us, interestingly enough. But yeah, I think you're better off just staying out and waiting for the intermediate switch. I don't think going for hards like Piastri is the right call.
We'll be seeing at least 20 minutes of light rain. Dries definitely seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
It's just going to keep getting worse. Surely it won't be far now. Russell will box. 18.2, the laps are slowly dropping away, but you need about between 4 to 6 seconds really. Needing more on the 6 second side for a switch to Inter. We've still got some tyres so we can go long. I still trust this is the right call. But right now Alonso's net P2, so we've got a bit of an order change. I'd say this is the first lap where you could probably put an Inter on and get away with it. Obviously we have no risk, so we can keep going for the time being. Still 12 seconds over Alonso, but visibly more spray. Lap times now are nearly in the 1:19, so over 4 seconds slower. So you probably would get away with an Inter, but you might overheat it.
So this rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future.
So according to the game, we are now in that light rain condition. Tyre wear icon just flashed up in the bottom right as well, so we're knocking over 60% wear on our rears, which are still a bit hot, but not terribly hot. We are starting to get caught now by the cars behind, so once it gets to like 3 seconds, we will likely have to just box for the Inter and basically make a call and hope it's the right one. It does feel like the grip is starting to get very low now though. We've been doing 1:19, so the last 2 laps. That was also 1:19, but that's 6/10 slower. Last one was a 19.1, so it does feel like this could be the lap potentially. Could be. We're getting there now. 19.5. We go a bit quicker. Gap is now 2.4. This is really, really tricky to call. Could we go on a soft tyre and make that work to the end for 10 laps? That could be an interesting call. We have got a fairly healthy gap. Got a yellow further back. That could be interesting. I don't know what to do now. We are going to be forced off these tyres either by puncture or by cars catching behind. Looks like that yellow is at the stadium, but it's not a mechanical. I think it's just a mistake. Right, we've got to make a decision. This is going to be the lap. We've got Alonso within our DRS. 19.8.
It's still not a perfect situation, but I don't think we've got cause to move on to a different tyre yet.
Alonso goes for it and commits to it, crucially. I really don't know. This rain is taking so much longer than I thought. But there's going to be no change in the conditions. Russell's going to go. I don't have battery for this. I think I'm going to have to box for inters and just go with the safer option.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
Piastri's going to go through straight away here. And I won't be able to hold him back. Forgot to change my battery mode. That was a costly error. I think this is Inters now, though. I think I can get away with it. They might overheat, but I think we'll, get to the end. We'll finish the race. But my concern is how far we're going to drop. All those cars behind that big train now heading through the S's are going to jump us, and it's all going to be 4th position as well. And we're that late in the race now where the AI will likely finish the race on this tyre. They're not going to box, so we need it to rain. Now, I am struggling though big time, so we'll have to get off these tyres and make a switch. So this is it. Decisive moment in this race. Behrman's no help, he's at the back. I assume damage, he's long gone out of this race, so this is the critical moment. Is this the right call? We're about to find out. Super delayed rain phase. We're going to rejoin just behind Gasly, or no, Perez actually here.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Let's see if this is right or wrong. I think it will come good by the end. The question is, will it come good in time? We don't want it to get, into on lap 36. That's just too late for any sort of progress. Feels okay, not great so far. Middle sector will be the big telltale sign. That didn't feel too good. I've got colossal understeer right now. We're going to overheat these tyres. It needs to start raining. Already overheating. We're catching up to Perez. The grip is fading on those hards, but it's just not enough water for the Inters to work, so we're going to start burning through them very quickly at this rate if this continues. What a strange forecast. You'll see now. Rear's already hot, left rear's already getting hot. It's just not raining enough. We'll likely get a chance at passing Perez here. The front's not overheating, so we can throw the car in and basically lean on the front tyres to get the turn in and get the car stopped. And we'll get DRS to go. We're going to get DRS off of this group. They're slowing down now quite a bit. Either they're battling or losing time somehow, or suddenly in the last lap it's just started to really pick up, and there's the rain lights also starting to appear. I think it's starting to switch into that interphase, but we've already overheated our tyres, so we need a lot more rain to cool these down if we were going to have any chance of getting the rubber under control. The good thing is that I think I am quicker than all of these guys, so we still should be able to get to the front of this queue and minimise our losses. The right call would have been switching for a soft tyre though, unless if it suddenly gets really wet now in these last few laps. You can now visibly see they're starting to struggle quite a bit for grip as we put one around the outside of Gasly there. Gasly, easy work. His teammate Ocon chipping away there at Leclerc. That's allowed Sainz off the leash. He's going to slip away, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That is going to be our race and our championship. Oh my god, what a mistake that is. I don't believe it. That's the rears just overheating. Just lost it on the curb. Oh my god. What an error. What an error. That is crucial now. If we don't get any rain until lap 36, that's going to be our race.
Yellow flag.
Oh.
Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Gasly backwards at turn 1. So we'll gain a place back right away.
Okay, clear.
No DRS on Hauger, of course. DRS section point is at the stadium. So we're not going to get it in that double DRS zone. But yeah, we are quicker. Even with the overheating tyres, it's in a really weird place in terms of the conditions. But this is the right tyre, I'd say now. But is there enough laps to, you know, do damage and execute the game plan? This time we get through the chicane with no dramas. And we'll likely get Hauger here as we get our first warning for track limits. Here we go. Late move in the braking zone there from Dennis, but through we go. Let's try and get back amongst that group we was in before and try and get those points.
Just a reminder, mate, temperatures are vital for tyre wear, so try to keep them green, please.
Sure thing, pal. Sure thing.
Yellow flag.
Oh, Stroll's out.
Information on Stroll. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
That's P12. If I can get into P10, I'll get a point plus my fastest lap.
Flag.
But we need something. I mean, it's not even raining at this part of the track. Really. It's just not happening enough. The rain just hasn't come down. Wow. Over already. Russell wins. The track just didn't get wet. Simple as that. Got absolutely bamboozled by the early rain, and then even the rain icon on the forecast at the end of the race didn't even happen. So it was dry as all the way. If we'd boxed for soft, we could have saved our race. Not won it, but you know, maybe even got like a top 5. I'll have to check results now. Either way, disaster in Mexico. Hamilton doesn't score, but Russell gets maximum points. And for us, look at that. Look at that tyre wear, and also look at that tyre temp. We've completely thrown our inters out.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
George Russell has done it. George Russell is the winner.
You always look back at a race like this and think, if I'd just made that mistake there or locked up here, there would have been contact. And every one of those overtakes is a moment where you have to absolutely nail it, perfect it, and that's exactly what they were able to do today. Great stuff indeed.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
Well, there is your lot. Russell, Alonso, Piastri is your podium. Norris, Verstappen, P4, P5. And looking at that, realistically, I think P5 was more than possible if we just boxed for a soft. Plus the fastest lap that we got, we would have got an extra point. That would have been a decent, you know, damage limitation at the end of the race. But that strategy really caught me out and left me in no man's land. So yeah, it is what it is. Job done. No points for us, but also no points for Lewis Hamilton. And yeah, we're going to scroll down to the standings and see exactly how things look. So again, we still have a fairly healthy margin. Alonso and Russell close in, and so does Leclerc a little bit. But generally, we still have that kind of 2-race win margin in our back pocket. So even though things are happening, we're having reliability issues and we're making mistakes or races are going wrong, it's looking okay. And to be fair, even with that strategy blunder, I could have actually got P5, on the Inter if I hadn't spun. That was a big mistake on my end. Anyway, in the Constructors, suddenly it went from being comfortable to an Aston Martin only being 10 points behind. So it's game on for P5. in the Constructors. McLaren now have 40 points over us. It's impossible. Unless Behrman gets points, we just can't do anything. Mercedes look good for the Constructors, to be honest, and I think they're going to wrap that one up. But either way, guys, that's going to be it from today's video. Without Scott Hamilton in the rivalry, but that is looking also favourable to him, to be honest. But we'll see how that finishes in the closing rounds. In the meantime, there's going to be a bit of an issue with payouts as well, as we didn't really hit our goals in that one. So generally, a bit of a rough weekend all round. So that's not exactly what I had in mind. So yeah, next round we should have the personnel level 3 department. So hopefully Behrman's a bit quicker, more upgrades, and we'll keep pushing. And this championship is still game on, heading into the next one in Brazil. So guys, like the video, subscribe. As always, a big shout out to my members of the channel for supporting the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. I'll see you next time. Take care. Let's go back from me. Ciao.